Hi there, welcome. Today we are diving into Ghana, a country that's quickly becoming one of Africa's most exciting investment destinations. And its growing partnership with Japan is really making waves right now. See, here is the scoop. Under President John Mahama, Ghana is positioning itself as a gateway to West Africa and the African Continental Free Trade Area. Now, you might be wondering, what does that actually mean for investors? Well, simply put, Ghana is opening its doors to trade, innovation, and sustainable growth like never before. Right at the heart of this transformation is Ghana's bold 24-hour economy. And no, it's not just about businesses staying open longer hours. It's about unlocking untapped potential, empowering young entrepreneurs, creating jobs, and attracting investments that don't just benefit Ghana, but the whole region. Imagine an economy that literally never sleeps, powered by ideas, creativity, and ambition. Now let's talk about partnerships. Ghana recently had a major partnership deal with Japan, and Japan has been a trusted ally in Ghana's growth story for decades, helping build roads, energy projects, and strengthening human capacity. But here's the exciting part. This partnership is evolving. Japanese companies aren't just focusing on traditional development aid anymore. They are now actively exploring trade, industrial collaborations, and resource-based investments. It's a new chapter, a chapter built on mutual benefits, tech exchange, and long-term economic growth. So the question we may ask, why Ghana? First off, its strategic location. It gives investors access to West Africa's key markets. Secondly, the country has a skilled, trainable workforce that's ready for industrial and service sector demands. Third, Ghana is rich in natural resources. Think of gold, cocoa, and huge swaths of agricultural land. And here is the kicker. Ghana offers access to over 1.3 billion consumers across regional and continental markets. This isn't just a destination, it's a launch pad into Africa's massive economic potential. The whole vision came alive at the recent Presidential Investment Forum held alongside the 9th Tokyo International Conference on African Development. The forum brought together global investors, government leaders, and innovators to showcase Ghana as a reliable strategic partner. And the government highlighted key points like incentives, industrial clusters, and integrated value chains, all aimed at creating a thriving business environment. And it doesn't stop there. Ghana is backing this vision with strong government support. Under the current administration of President John Dramani Mahama, the country has rolled out investor-friendly policies, macroeconomic stability, rationalized taxes, and transparent business practices. Through economic diplomacy, the Foreign Ministry is actively promoting investments, protecting investors, and enhancing bilateral trade. They have even set key performance indicators for ambassadors to track their impact on economic growth. So diplomacy isn't just talk, it's measurable action. Now let's look at the numbers because they are compelling. In 2024, Ghana's GDP stands at $73.23 billion, growing at 5.7%, largely driven by mining. Inflation is at 12.7%. Business confidence is on the rise. And by 2035, the country is expected to have 11.6 million skilled workers, mixing political stability, transparent policies, and strategic location. And it's crystal clear why Ghana is such an attractive destination for investment. So here is the takeaway. Ghana isn't just open for business. It's actively shaping a resilient, forward-looking economy. Opportunities here cover agriculture, energy, industrial development, and even emerging sectors like carbon markets and green finance. For investors looking for stability, growth, and real impact, Ghana has a rare combo of policy support, human capital, and market access. So if you're thinking about Africa, Ghana isn't just another stop on the map. It is where your journey should begin. From ideas to enterprises, from partnerships to prosperity, Ghana is ready to turn vision into reality. Let's enjoy this video coming from a recent partnership summit in faraway Japan. This is David 360. Thanks for staying with us. God bless you and have a great day.
Your Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Honorable Ministers of State, senior government officials, Excellencies, ambassadors, business leaders, delegates, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to offer brief remarks at this Ghana-Japan Presidential Investment Forum. On the 7th of January 2025, when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was sworn in the clip you just saw, he stated firmly that Ghana is open for business once again. President Mahama's distinguished presence at today's Presidential Investment Forum is an affirmation of that pledge he made when he was inaugurated as the 14th President of the Republic of Ghana. President Mahama, since coming into office, has ushered in a new dawn of commitment, macroeconomic stability, and respect for investors. You would have observed that the economic situation has greatly improved. Our currency is now regarded as one of the best performing currencies in the world. Macroeconomic stability has been restored, and the sovereign rating agencies have all begun to upgrade Ghana. We are no longer in the junk status, and we are no longer a bankrupt country, thanks to the visionary leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. I can also confirm this morning that when President Mahama appointed me, the charge he gave me, his marching orders, was that we should prioritize economic diplomacy. And so you will have observed that in all we have been doing at the Foreign Ministry, we have put the economic fortunes of our country at the forefront, because that is the mandate the President has given us. On the 1st of September, the President will be launching the first of its kind, a novel KPI, key performance indicators, for all ambassadors and diplomats from the Republic of Ghana. This has never happened in our history. And when you peruse that document, you will see that economic diplomacy is at the heart of it. The President wants our diplomacy to make an impact. Our diplomacy must lead to the improvement in the lives of the people. Diplomacy must promote investment, and diplomacy must create a safe haven for all of those who invest in our country. And that is what the Foreign Ministry has been charged to do. You also have observed that since President Mahama was sworn in on the 7th of January, he has respected all international agreements that he inherited. And so Japanese businesses are thriving. And you all know that no Japanese business, no contractual arrangement that was inherited has been adversely affected. And so we are delighted to see the progress that Japanese car manufacturers like Toyota Chusho, Honda, Suzuki, all these brands are doing very well, expanding, creating jobs. And the last time we had an engagement with Jetro, it was confirmed that you are all experiencing the new business climate, which is indeed positive to your investments. As the Honorable Trade Minister emphasized, when you invest in Ghana, you are not only investing in a stable, democratic country which offers you a market of some 33 million Ghanaians, but you are also investing in the gateway to Africa. Ghana hosts the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, which is the largest trading bloc in the world currently, where you are guaranteed a market of 1.3 billion Africans. And that is why we are conscious of that role that we play as an African country being looked up to by the rest of Africa to be that gateway that not only attracts investors but also protects your investments. As I wrap up, the pledge that we make to you as the Foreign Ministry of Ghana is that when you decide to invest in Ghana, you can count on our full and integrated support, right from the support that our Ambassador Akpalu here will give you at our mission in Tokyo, all the way toward GIPC, the Ministry of Trade, and others working in concert will afford you. We are determined to ensure that your investment is not only protected, but you also have good returns. And under President Mahama, you can be assured that your choice in Ghana, choosing Ghana, will be the best decision that you ever made, because you cannot go wrong when you invest in Ghana, and particularly investing at this time under the visionary and pragmatic leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. I want to thank all of you for honoring our invitation, particularly our partners, the Ministry of Trade, GIPC, GEPA, our ECTIP, the Economic Trade and Investment Bureau of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, certainly our hardworking ambassadors, the mission here in Japan, supported by our multilateral diplomats from Addis. You have all made this possible, and we will continue to immortalize the memory of those who came before us, the likes of Noguchi, and all of those who have contributed greatly in shaping Ghana-Japan relations. We'll continue to walk that path, and we'll make sure that our bilateral relations grow stronger and stronger. So you are all warmly welcome to this Presidential Investment Forum, and we look forward to the outcomes. And we have no doubt that we are going to double our trade investment portfolios. We are going to have more businesses from Japan, and also we are going to have a lot more businesses from Ghana now investing in Japan. And let me commend the Japanese government that you are always being friendly to Ghana. You are not imposing tariffs. You are opening up your space for us. You are attracting more Ghanaian businesses, and you are also expanding your social contributions to our country. I can recount the Volivo Bridge project. I can talk about the Tamale electricity expansion project. I can also talk about the Kumasi Ring Road project, and many other social interventions, including Japanese volunteers who continue to come to our country to support the transformation of our country. So there's a lot to celebrate about Ghana-Japan relations, and we have no doubt that today's Presidential Investment Forum is going to open more doors and usher us into a new dispensation of greater prospects between our two countries. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Since assuming office on the 7th of January, this is the first official visit of His Excellency the President to Japan, and also to attend TICAD-9. And like the Minister for Foreign Affairs said, the President says Ghana is open for business, and therefore wherever he is, he also wants to meet the business community to tell them the good news he has. We are talking of the President who is a hands-on person and who is poised to achieve results. And so, Mr. Maji, you were saying that we are not paying anything for always using the President's name. I want to tell you that the President is the Chief Marketing Officer of Ghana. And so, as the Chief Marketing Officer, he's giving us the express permission to always use whatever he says. Whatever he says is the Bible for us. So, ladies and gentlemen, without taking much of your time, shall we please invite to His Excellency the podium, the President of the Republic of Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Oh, please be seated. Sorry. Thank you very much, and good morning to all of you. Let me thank Simon for that very comprehensive presentation of the opportunities that our country has to offer. And I wonder whether after Simon is necessary for me to even speak. We marketed our country, quite efficiently than anybody can be able to do. But let me just say, the question is, why would you want to invest in a country like Ghana? And not only to do with the economic opportunities, but that Ghana is a stable, democratic, business-friendly gateway to West Africa and the continent. And like you said, we have a growing consumer market with improving macroeconomic fundamentals, clear reforms to lower the cost of doing business, and abundant opportunities for technology transfer. And the thing is, what does Ghana have to offer? Strategic geographical location. Ghana is a country through which the meridian and the equator intersect. The two intersect in Ghana's territory, just a few kilometers off our shore. And it's also the host country for the African Continental Free Trade Area. You all have heard the landmark protocol that was signed by African countries. So far, almost 50 African countries have signed that allow us to export duty-free, tariff-free into each other's markets. Increasing numbers of products are being registered, and once you register your product and it meets all the standards, you can export duty-free and tariff-free into each other's markets. And as you were told, the sub-regional market, which is West Africa, is 400 million people. Ghana is 33 million people, and the continental market is 1.4 billion people. And so with the vehicle of the African Continental Free Trade Area, you potentially can export into 1.4 billion market. Simon said it, we are re-establishing macro stability and growth momentum of the economy. Inflation rose to a high of almost 23% in 2024 and is currently down to 13.7%. And we expect that by the end of the year to hit single digit. And it's also, our cedi has stabilized. For those of you who know the history of the Ghanaian cedi, it's been one of the most volatile currencies in Africa. And a few years back, we were said to be the worst performing currency. I'm happy to announce that this year, Ghana cedi has been the best performing currency in the world. And as Simon said, we've been upgraded from junk status to B- with a stable outlook. And I'm certain that in the next review, we're going to be upgraded again. we're open for business, and Simon and Co are busy at work reviewing the Ghana Investment Promotion Center Act. Some barriers were put to foreign investment. You had to prove that you had brought in a certain amount of money to be classified as a foreign investor. In the reviewed Ghana Investment Promotion Center Act, we're removing those minimal capital investments. This will enable any investor, however little money you have, $100,000, $50,000, to be able to come in and set up a business in Ghana. Again, we have a track record for hosting Japanese companies. And as you saw from the list there by Madam Jethro, Executive Vice President, the number of Japanese companies that are operating in Ghana is significant, and we're expecting that that should expand. From Simon's presentation, he told you about $152 million has been invested over the last few decades. We believe that there is growth room for improvement and expanded investment from Japan. We're moving just not only from overseas development assistance, but we're moving to trade and investment. And the private sector will be that engine of growth. And so trade between our two countries grew by over 24% from 2020 to 2024. That is quite a significant jump. Priority sectors, Simon mentioned, Japan has a comparative advantage when it comes to automobile manufacturing. And like I said, using the opportunity to be able to export into not only our sub-region but into Africa, then Ghana becomes a good place for local assembly of automotive products. And already we have Japanese companies that are based in Ghana and assembling for the local market and also for exporting to the sub-region. Brands like Toyota, the Honda is there, and several other ones. He mentioned the area of agribusiness and agro-processing. Of course, that is one of the main focus in terms of economic transformation. Ghana has a comparative advantage when it comes to agriculture and agribusiness, in terms of available arable lands, in terms of sunshine, in terms of water. We have the world's largest man-made lake. It's one of the things we were taught in school, the Volta Lake. And our first president had quite a good dream about what he wanted to do with that lake. And we're going to capture that in what I talk about when I talk about the Volta Economic Corridor. We have millions of hectares of land that border that huge lake. And the water can be used to bring about 2 million hectares of land under irrigation. But also we intend to establish industrial parks, so that we can process agri-products. We can invest in textile manufacture for export into the EU markets, into the American markets, and other places. Fortunately, we got slapped with only a 15% tariff by President Trump. And so Ghana is still competitive when it comes to exporting into the American market. And so, like I said, the economic corridor would include manufacturing and industrial parks. And we already have 2 industrial parks. We have the Free Zones Enclave. We have the Tema Industrial Park. But there's a new one that has come up, which is the Dawa Industrial Park. And already the anchor tenants have built and are producing, and several other companies are setting up for producing in Ghana and exporting into the African and foreign markets. One of the major growth areas for Ghana is in energy. And Ghana has a comparative advantage when it comes to energy production. Our first president was the first to establish the Akosombo Hydroelectric Dam, which is a 1,020 megawatt hydroelectric power plant. We have subsequently had other hydro plants, including the Pong hydroelectric power plant and then the Bui hydroelectric power plant. So there are 3 of them. But after a while, we realized that these hydro plants were not enough to supply the energy needs of Ghana. And so we went into thermal production. The good news is that once we went into thermal production, side by side, we discovered huge quantities of oil and gas. And we took a decision to utilize the gas for power production. And so we have a gas to power policy. And so our thermal plants are being run on gas. We're bringing new gas fields into operation. And because we're members of the West African Power Pool, our energy transmission systems are interconnected with our neighboring countries. And so any excess of power we're able to produce, we can evacuate and sell to our neighboring countries, because we have a comparative advantage when it comes to power. Our cost is much lower than they can produce it themselves using fuel oils. Ghana has three important ports. One is the old Tema ports. There are two ports in Tema, if for most people don't know that. We have the old port that was built by President Kwame Nkrumah, which is a smaller one. And recently we built a much bigger port, which is the MPS port. So there are two ports in Tema. And then we also have the port in Takoradi. Currently, the port in Tema, the MPS port, is one of the best performing ports in Africa. And it is able to accommodate the largest cargo ships that exist in this world. This year, about 3 of those cargo ships, the largest in the world, have berthed in Tema to lighten, because we have a deep draft, and so they're able to come into Tema and lighten the cargo before they move to our sister ports in Nigeria, Apapa, Lomé, and Cote d'Ivoire. We also have an important area, which is digital economy and skills. And like Simon said, Ghana has a very young population, English speaking, and they're very smart and quick to upskill in any areas: robotics, AI, fintechs. The fintech sector is one of the fastest growing in Ghana than in any other African country. And so GIPC sold itself. It says it will fast track your approvals. And so any investor who wants to come, your first port of call is the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. And once you go, they would lead you and fill out all your company registration forms, get you your tax identification number and everything. And Simon said in 24 hours. And so I'm holding him to that promise. Any of you who comes and he goes beyond 24 hours, just report him to me. I talked already of the Volta Economic Corridor, and so we're looking for anchor businesses to take advantage of that. We also have the opportunities for mitigating your risk by doing PPPs. That is, government will partner with you to invest if you are interested. We currently do not provide sovereign guarantees in terms of borrowing, but our guarantees are that your business, will be protected and will not be expropriated. We also have blended finance for huge projects, and so that is available. We have local partnership, and as you were told, some of our big businessmen are here, and so setting up joint ventures with Ghanaian businessmen who know the terrain and would be something that is useful. And so I invite you to pilot with that. Select any of the areas. If it's automotive, if it's agro-processing, it is investment in green transition. You can join us and partner to be able to do that. You can use Ghana, as I said, as your West African hub and locate your regional office in Ghana or your production line in Ghana for export into the sub-region. You can also invest with our universities and vocational institutions to establish training centers that will be tied to whatever investments that you want to do. Ghana is a land of opportunity, and many nationals from all over the world are investing in Ghana. As I said, we wish to, because of the discipline, quality standards, and industrial wisdom that Japanese businessmen have, we wish to encourage Japanese businessmen to look towards Ghana. Africa is the next frontier for investment. Most parts of the world are saturated when it comes to investment. Africa is opening up, is growing, and is a place that Japan should be looking at. And so let us marry Japanese precision with Ghanaian potential and create a win-win situation for ourselves. Before I take my seat, my minister's advisors, CEO of GIPC, Ghana Export Promotion Agency, and our ambassadors will all be in this room after we finish this opening session, and they'll be happy to sit with you and discuss further what the opportunities are in Ghana. My copyright, Ghana is open for business, is here, and I don't charge for it anyway, so we're open for business 24 hours a day, and at this decisive moment in our history, we're working towards the economic transformation of Ghana. Our nation is embracing a bold vision, one that harnesses innovation, industrialization, and regional integration to unlock the full potential of our people and our resources. Our vision is anchored in our 10 billion big push, and the $10 billion big push is a program to improve the infrastructure of our country, especially in the road sector, in the industrial sector, agro-processing space, and all that. So we're investing $2 billion a year in infrastructure development. And already you've heard about the 24-hour economic policy, where we'll give incentives to businesses that are prepared to invest and to run more than the 8-hour working cycle. And then we're looking to accelerate industrial growth, ensure food security, enhance supply chain and value addition, and position Ghana as the manufacturing and export hub of Africa. And so on this note, I am happy to declare the Presidential Investment Forum on the sidelines of TICAD-9 duly open. I thank you. Long live Ghana and Japan partnership.
Shall we